everybody, welcome back to Devils United. We're back with a transfer show. I know I missed my weekly transfer show last week due to myself not being very well. I didn't have much time to do this week, so I thought I'd do it a little bit earlier, get some updates in, because there is quite a few updates what we have missed out on. So I'm going to get all the updates from this week, discuss about them. So I'll be starting with Man United. I've got a strong link for Man United women, and then I'll be finishing off on a strong link for Sporting. So we have got plenty of links. We've got 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 things to discuss about today. So plenty transfer stuff to go into. Let's go into the chat. Good evening, I'm saying good evening like it's an evening show. Good afternoon, Ravi. Thanks for coming in. Hope you are well. Declan Rice's City, the only Rice Arsenal fans are getting Rice from the local Indian grocery shop. Last thing I hear, Liverpool are looking at Gravenberch from Bayern. Liverpool are making it far too slow. From what I've been hearing with Gravenberch recently, because he knows he's getting a lot of interest from Premier League clubs. I think he's had an interest in a La Liga club as well, but he has said that he does want to stay at Barca. So are you going to get him on loan? I'm not too sure. He might want to break his way in, especially knowing that we're hearing Kimmich is apparently leaving, and if Sabitz is leaving as well, it gives more options to Gravenberch. Hey there, Neil. Thanks for coming in. Hope you are well. Rice the Sitter. I have been hearing Rice the Sitter. And with Declan Rice, from what I've been hearing, is it's basically a bidding. It's basically either Arsenal or City who's going to be getting. What I have also heard is that they're going to throw Calvin Phillips into the mix. So they are looking at Declan Rice as a more suitable option for the Manchester City team. We know Calvin Phillips hasn't done very well last year. Had a lot of injury problems when they're able to get in the squad against Rodri, who was absolutely outstanding this year. So I wouldn't be surprised if that move actually happens. Maisy, is that right? Jodie Taylor from Arsenal to United. No, I've not heard any of them rumours before, so I'm kind of hoping that isn't the case, because she is quite old. I think she's probably about 36, 37. It's not really the ideal approach we need to go to. Mays, please, I will go into our link for Man United. Is it the Barcelona striker? We don't know. Good afternoon, Chris. Thanks for coming in. Hope you are well. Mount, yes, that's the one I'm going to be talking about today. Hey there, Doug. Thanks for coming in. Hope you are well. I've taken a back seat from YouTube at the moment. That's understandable, because I know you've got a baby coming very soon as well, and you just need to prioritise yourself, make sure you're okay, and once you feel up for it, once everything's all okay for you, we'll all welcome you back, of course, Doug, so hope you're feeling okay. Hey there to my queen, thanks for coming in, hope you are well. Loans never work at Liverpool. Hey there, Liam, thanks for coming in, hope you are well. Big up, hope Hither get business done soon. Really hope so. Mount Defo going United now. Maisy being spicy with the transfer news. Patient Liverpool fans, it's not FIFA career mode. Doug, big up. So we'll start with the first one. I'm going to talk about from the cover photo. Iqbal to leave Manchester United. So this was initially broke out by David Ermstrom. So that got exclusive 2 days ago. Manchester United have accepted an offer from the Dutch club to sign Zidane Iqbal on a permanent transfer deal for 20-year-old Iraq midfielder worth up for 1 million plus significant sell-on clause for Man United. Medical done, set to join on a 4-year contract. I must be honest, when I did initially see this, I was a bit confused. Because you look at all the other signings who have come in, all the other loanees who's from Manchester United going on loan, that's Championship abroad, blah, 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 blah. They have had at least 2 loan deals. I know Iqbal stayed at Manchester United this season. he didn't have a look into the squad. Especially with injuries, you would have expected he would have had at least a few minutes. From what I have seen of Iqbal, he had been more engaged, at least having 10 minutes this season. Even if it was against Charlton Athletic, I think he should have had something. But I did also think under the same breath is if he wasn't getting into the squad, especially with the amount of injuries we've had, because we've had Ericsson who's injured, we've had Sabitzer who's injured, we've had McTominay injured, we've had Casemiro have the suspensions. The only player who has been really fully available in that midfield this season has been Bruno Fernandes. So you would really think that Iqbal could have had something in there. 1 million, does that do anything justice? No, 1 million is nothing. Let's be real here when we're talking about that. But people are saying it is a little bit less than 1 million. It's supposed to be roughly around 800k. Again, that's very little. But when I've been reading more into the situation of Zidane Iqbal, why he's leaving on a permanent transfer, we had been hearing that he had disrespected the manager of Erik ten Hag. If this is the case, and he has been disrespecting Erik ten Hag because he apparently told him to do on basically in a swear word term, if that is the case from what rumours are suggesting as to why Zidane Iqbal has left on a permanent transfer due to disrespect, then I do think this is completely the right move. We've had so many players who have got who have had great attributes to be a Manchester United star, but the attitude has let them down. I know a lot of people were looking forward to Iqbal being into the first team because he would have been that first youth player, Iraq midfielder to Iraq player to join the academy to get into the first team. I know a lot of people were very excited. He did have silky moves. I'm not gonna argue about that, but you need to also look at under the same breath is you can't disrespect your manager. Doesn't matter if you're 18, 17 or 32. You can't disrespect your manager at the end of the day. And if it is due to disrespecting the manager, even though the 1 million is very low or less than 1 million, I do personally think it's the right choice by getting rid of him. You're looking at all the youth players over the years who could have made it into that first team, who could have been a starting 11 player. Think of, for instance, Ravel Morrison, from over the years, and it was his attitude problem that let Manchester United let him down from being a starting 11 player. And now look at him; he is in the Championship League One, wherever he is at the moment. From what I last heard, he's at Derby. Don't know if he still is, but attitude problems is not going to get you anywhere as a footballer. So, as I say, if it's the attitude problems, spot on move by Manchester United to let him go. But I do think we could have tried to at least get more than the £1 million fee that has been released by Manchester United. Hey there, Paul. Hope you're well. Thank you for coming in. Hey there to my dad. Thanks for coming in. Hope you are well. Hey there to our Lumber. Thanks for coming in. Hope you are well. Maisy, thoughts on Havertz at Arsenal? What attributes can he bring? Will he play as an 8? Personally, I don't really rate Kai Havertz. I'm going to openly say that. I think he's crap. I think he can potentially play as an 8 or maybe as a false 9 move if, for instance, Jesus was to be injured. I just don't think he's a great player if you want me to hold my hands up. But I think sometimes you do need to have a move to really show what you're about. I don't think it worked out for him at Chelsea. And he was very keen to join Arsenal, which, funny enough, no Chelsea fan is slagging off the fact that Kai Havertz has gone to their rival, another London club, but they have an issue with Mason Mount going to Manchester United after strongly disrespecting him. So I think he could probably improve under Arteta. You've seen Arteta do wonders for some players, so he could do well, but I don't really rate him, to be honest. Mays, what players do you realistically actually see United sign this window? I think it's going to be a difficult one because I think it's all going to depend on the transfers. We need a striker, we need a midfielder, we need a goalkeeper. Who we get is very hard to say right now, but the strongest link is, of course, looking like Mason Mount. Good afternoon, Reese. Thanks for coming in. Hope you are well. As Reese said, hit the like, share, subscribe. Be a good deal getting Mount from Liam. Completely agree. I actually quite like Mason Mount, to be honest. I will go into Mason Mount very soon because we've got plenty of things to discuss about Mason Mount for sure. It's good decision from Man United. Any player disrespecting the manager, off you pop. Exactly. That's exactly what I think. And if that is the case, and Zidane Iqbal has disrespected Erik Ten Hag, then the correct decision is to get rid of him. I know that it is a low price, a very, very low price, but I'd rather get rid of someone for a low price who's disrespecting a manager than to keep him there. Thoughts on Tonali to Newcastle? I think it's a terrific signing by Newcastle that he's meant to be having his medicals now. So I think it's a great decision. Can play there in the defensive role. But if you want me to be honest, I don't watch too much of Milan. Probably Reese would be probably the better option to give you that answer. But I think it does look a great decision and it allows Bruno to go a bit more forward. Yeah, Maisy, I agree. Havertz is poor. If Havertz is the answer, I'm not sure what the question is. That's my thoughts on him. Exactly. What do you make of all these incomings to Saudi? It's weird because with the Saudi situation is I don't think there's FFP there, so they can allow to spend whatever they want. I can understand players nearer to the end of their career, they want to leave. If they're 30 plus, I understand that. But you're looking at lights of, for instance, Neves going to the Saudi League, where I personally think Ruben Neves could get into 19 out of 20 Premier League sides. The only Premier League side he couldn't get into, for me, in my opinion, would be Manchester City. Based off the current squad, I think he could get it, every single other squad. I think he could get into. I just think if you're under, you've got no ambition. I don't think the Saudi League is any good, but they want to improve it and make it bigger and putting all the money in. Because if people go to the Saudi League, you know why they want to go. Basically, from Neo, other women's teams gonna sign players. Yeah, we've got some strong links. A Nigerian striker, Brazilian winger, and we're also linked to a Reading centre back. They're the strongest links we have. I am gonna go into the Nigerian striker today though and discuss her a little bit more. Hey there, Vincent. Thanks for coming in. Hope you are well. My dad said Mount will improve as a player at Man United because his career for 18 months had been rubbish. Exactly. Completely agree with that. And I think he just needs to get out of London and have a new test, to be honest now. Mays, hasn't De Gea got 8 or 7 days to go? Apparently so. Saudi are taking over every sport these days. I don't like it, but it's the real world these days. Long-winded video to say we're going to sign nobody. Thank you for coming in, Julio. Hope you're well. Thanks for coming into the chat. Ruben Neves is going to make money for his family. Yeah, but the thing is as a footballer, I've always heard Ruben Neves say, I want to be in the Champions League. I want to compete for trophies, blah, 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 blah. And I just think for me is football careers aren't about money, and as much as it's made it look like that more these days, if you as a footballer, you don't, he's gonna make money regardless of where he goes. Because if he went to Liverpool, for instance, he's easily going to be making 100k a week. He could live off 100k a week very, very comfortably, for instance. So anywhere he'd go, he'd make money, but it's just a matter of the competitiveness that he could potentially go to. Question: if the men's team only get Mount and panic buys, what you're saying, it just depends on the situation, though, Ravi. It's very hard to say. if the Glazers still here, I just wouldn't be surprised. But and when you mean panic buys, it what's the panic buys? Because Casemiro was meant to be a panic buy last year, and Casemiro was a fantastic appointment. So if we have panic buys for Casemiro, I will be very happy with the panic buys. We'll go on to the next link now, and that is Donny van der Beek to leave. We've had some updates here from Fabrizio Romano. So here it is, Fabrizio Romano. Donny van der Beek will explore options on the market in the next few weeks as he could leave Man United. Donny loves the club and Ten Hag, but he needs and wants regular play next season. Told he'll be ready for pre-season after a long injury. So that's the update from Fabrizio. So it is looking like Donny van der Beek is leaving Manchester United. And if you want me to be fairly honest, I do personally think, in my opinion, that it's the right move for him to go. I understand he's had a lot of injuries. Don't get me wrong on that. He's had that horrible injury. What happened at Bournemouth? I don't even think they got carded for it. I just think for me is when you're at Man United, he knows he's not going to get the starting 11 spot, especially with Bruno Fernandes in this team. But I look two different things at Donny is. One, people say Ollie ruined his career, but he's had Ole, Rangnick, Frank Lampard, Michael Carrick, and Ten Hag. So he's had 5 separate managers now since being in the Premier League. And I do personally think, in my opinion, that I just don't think his attributes to the way he plays, because you look at when he was at Ajax, I believe he was in the top 30 for Ballon d'Or. So that just shows the potential and how well he done at Ajax. And I just think, I'm not saying like, there is always going to be players who join the Premier League just not well suited for it. We've noticed it with Koulibaly this season, wasn't well suited for it. So it's not the fact like he's a bad player at all, not by a long shot. But I just think, to be honest, especially when you're seeing like you've got a manager there who has worked with you under your Ajax days. He knows your best position. He knows where to play you. And if even before he got injured, he wasn't getting played regular. So that just raised massive alarm bells. And I just think personally for both parties, it is probably better to move him on. A La Liga club could be probably great for him. Serie A club would be probably great for him as well. He could do well at Inter Milan for me. Roma is another good shout. I think he could do well at the likes of Atletico Madrid, or he could do well at Real Betis. Just somewhere there steady where he'll get enough game time whilst being in Europe. And I think that would be the best move for Donny, in my personal opinion. It's a shame for him because, don't get me wrong, I probably think he's probably a very nice guy. Probably is a very nice guy. But I just think it's just one of them. It's not worked out, and it's just it needs to be dealt with sooner rather than later. And it's just a bit of a shame that it's took this long to find out that it's not worked for him, because he's had 3 seasons now at Man United. Chris, I'd take Neves in a heartbeat. Casemiro apparently a steady Eddie signing, apparently. I don't blame Neves for if he goes there for a few years and can come back to a league in Europe. I think for me, I don't know about you, but when I have seen players go to slower paced leagues and then they go to a faster paced league, it doesn't work out for them, especially when they're older. Look at Koulibaly. He's always spent his time at Serie A. Comes to the Premier League, it's far too quick for him. You look at Cristiano Ronaldo, he's gone from high intensity in the Premier League to high intensity in La Liga, goes to slower intensity there in Serie A, and then it comes back to the Premier League, it doesn't work. So I just think if at the age Neves is, he still can be in a very competitive, strong league. And I just think for me is he's not going to be that strong for me as a player if he was to move out of the Saudi league, especially with his abilities. 21 degrees here, but feels like 30. I wish it was 21 bloody degrees here as well, because I'll show you. Tell you something, I'm sweating like God knows what, like 25 degrees here at the moment. Like, it's killing me off. You know what I mean? One panic buys. As I say, it depends on what panic buys you're saying. Donny had potential, just never worked. Oh, look, it's Donny van der Beek, aka Mr. Hudson, who features and does play the fire song. I only know because my sister had it on. Hey there, Static. Thanks for coming in. Hope you are well. Donny had 5 managers, says it all, shows he's not doing it in training for me. I was thinking the exact same. I did say that his first season, but people are saying things to me for saying it. So, Mays, do you think Olano will come to United from Inter? I think it all depends on the situation of David De Gea. If David De Gea is to extend his contract, I don't think he will come to Man United. But if Donny leaves, if David De Gea leaves, then I think Olano will potentially come. Maisy smashing it today, thank you. Donny is like an Ali category, both a run and a litter. Just time to get rid, doesn't suit the Premier League. Mays, did you hear Liverpool are sending Calvin Ramsey to Preston on loan? Don't know who's Calvin Ramsey. Oh, I think that would probably be a good move for him. To be honest, get some physicality into him. Donny suits a lower league. Mays, that would be nice. I would like to see Donny at PSV, even if it's a loan deal. PSV would be a great shout as well. From what I've been hearing with Donny, Manchester United are only willing to sell him on a permanent transfer, probably because we're going to try and raise as much funds as possible. But I think for me, even the Dutch league would be a great shout for Donny, because he knows the Dutch league and he knows the intensity. Hey there, Jordan. Thanks for coming in. Hope you are well. This level is like Marmite. I love it and I hate it. I think we only stand at 8-year stop. You going to Arsenal like then Bergkamp. I think we only signed an 8 stop. You know, from going on Arsenal, so you could have been like Dennis Bergkamp. Plus, really pee me off. Bergkamp know when his daughter was living in Manchester Red. Donny only came here because Madrid pulled out. No, I think for me, why Donny came to Manchester United was Pogba was close to signing for Real Madrid. And I think at that point, Pogba had 1 year left on his deal, so we could have still got something for Pogba. He had personal terms agreed with as well. But then what happened is because Pogba signed personal terms at Real Madrid, because he wasn't criticised, but because Pogba had his personal terms signed at Real Madrid, I think Manchester United panicked and thought, oh crap, we're going to need to sign a Pogba replacement here. They looked at Jack Grealish from Aston Villa. Aston Villa said, no, we want 90 million for Jack Grealish. And with Van der Sar being the CEO at Ajax at the time, they've looked at Donny, and I think Van der Sar said, look, he's got the same qualities as Jack Grealish, blah, 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 and we'll let him go to 40 for years. They looked at that and thought, well, we're going to be saving 50 million here. And then after that, Pogba stayed at Man United. So I think he just didn't have that capacity there, because as much as I wasn't Pogba's biggest fan, Pogba was still a better player than Donny at that moment in time. But Calvin Ramsey would be better on loan at a Prem club. It depends if he's ever been on loan before. Perhaps, for me, probably he needs his physicality done, but I don't know. Oano would love Oano at Man United. Yeah, I would love him at Man United as well. From what I've seen, I think he's spectacular. But you just never know. Would be funny if Donny goes to PSV and scores against Ajax. I had to work this. Talking to my dad. Hey there, Latata. Thanks for coming in. Hope you are well. No, I wasn't criticised for the dad. I was criticised for Donny on his first year at Man United. But it is what it is, really, isn't it? I guess. Mays, United has drained me. I'm speechless today. Why have they drained you, to our lumber? It's always the same thing with the Glazers. We are a badly run club. Yeah, very, very true. Very true. It is quite draining. I must be honest with the current ownership situation. That's why I've always took it with a pinch of salt. Again, that's why I've never really commented on my own channel, just because a lot of the things are clickbait still. Until it's confirmed by the club, I just can't be bothered talking about it. I'll thank you very much for the support, Vincent. Really, really means a lot. Do you rate McAllister? I think he's good. I think he's good. Don't get me wrong. He probably will sue Liverpool, but you need to look at it in this way: is I look at it and going to Europa League, because he said he wanted Champions League football, and it just doesn't make sense going from a Europa League club to a Europa League club. But if he does well, then it's what it is. Thoughts on Spurs pulling out Raya? It's just a Spursy thing to do, to be honest. Hopefully that gives Man United a bit of a push to sign Raya, but I can't see it. Maisy, you were bang on about Donny as you were about a Portuguese fullback. So let's go on now to the next update, which is Hannibal Majerbi. So here it is now with Hannibal, which has also been announced by Fabrizio Romano today. Hannibal Majerbi, not concrete target for Borussia Dortmund at this stage, as BVB has different priorities in that position. Manchester United are open to discuss his future, but there's no negotiation with Dortmund as of today. So we're looking at this now with Hannibal Majerbi, because when I initially done my show, my Hannibal Majerbi player profile show with Tommy, it actually got announced then that Hannibal was to be Jude Bellingham's replacement, and knowing that he was from Birmingham also, we wanted to see about the comparisons, both of them being at Birmingham. And looking at this, it may potentially that Dortmund do have a few more options available. Personally, in my opinion, I do quite like Hannibal. I think he is a fantastic midfielder, and he is somebody who I would like at least to eventually break in to the first team properly, if that's a bench warmer or if that's going to be a start 11 player, because you looking at the midfielders that we do have at this moment in time is that you do have, if you look at it, for instance, you've got like Scott McTominay still in that on the bench for Manchester United, who personally for me is not good enough to be at the club. Hannibal has a much better attributes. Again, Zidane Iqbal has been taking over the bench, and if Zidane Iqbal becomes to be sold, that allows Hannibal to get that spot. And I do personally think, in my opinion, in terms of Hannibal, that Ten Hag is going to probably most likely assess him in pre-season, see where he's up to. Because I think the thing is with Hannibal, one, he's quite aggressive as to he can get quite hot-headed. And that's not always a bad thing, but sometimes it can be with the amount of yellows he can get, because he has a little bit of a temper. But yeah, it also shows passion. It also shows fight, determination. He has played in different formations, mostly played for at the back at Birmingham, so he'll know the position what's best for him. And we know that he's better in the middle, if that's a 10 or an 8. But I think at the moment it is all going to be down to pre-season. What Ten Hag is going to want to do, And I think, personally, in my opinion, if Ten Hag wants to loan him out again, I won't have too much issues with that. But I think to loan him to a Premier League club, for my reason is that we bulked him up a tiny bit because he is quite delicate. If you see his legs, they're like really, really thin, and sometimes I worry if he got tackled, he'd break his leg. Like, I get that worried about Hannibal. But based off his temper, I don't think he'd be very happy if he got a tackle, to be honest. But I think he's done well at Birmingham. So I think a lower league Premier League move for me would be great. If they was to do that, see if he is cut out for the Premier League, because already he's getting into first team for Tunisia, so he knows what it's like to play in that first team already. And Tunisia, play if that's going to be playing for World Cup, which he already has, that's great stuff for Hannibal. So I think for me is we need to assess in pre-season, see how he gets on from there, and then I think Ten Hag will make his decision. But selling for me would be a definite no at this moment in time. Sorry. So I hope we keep Hannibal and play him in games, give him more opportunities. Rarely had chances. I hope you don't sell him. If we loan, I'm okay with that. As a rotational 8 or 10, he gives us depth for long term, and we can sign ready-made players so we can learn from and replace. I think it'd be good for him to do private sessions with Bruno Fernandes, just so we can get a bit more learning from Bruno, because they do have that both creative ability. Maisy will United sell Fartiel. You need to look at it in this way. We need to get him sold, but what club would want him? Because even when he went on loan to Seville didn't even pay for any of his wages. So they were still winning at the end of the day, and they didn't want him when not even paying for his wages. So that's even crazy to think about. Could you see Hannibal getting a loan to a Premier League? I think I can see that. And I think that's the only way you're getting developed is to go to a Premier League club. Looking at the Premier League clubs in question, Nottingham Forest could be a potential good shout. Burnley could be a good shout, a newly promoted side, as well as Sheffield United could be a great shout. Neves being sold from Wolves, he could potentially be a good shout going to Wolves as well. I'd rather give Charlie McNeil than Fartiel, but we need a ready-made striker for definite. Maisy, did you hear Arsenal have opened talks for Nketiah to sell him? I've not heard it, but if that's the case, then I think it probably is the right thing, because I don't think he is good enough for me personally for Arsenal to compete. I think Maddison will end up at Newcastle with Tonali going to Newcastle, and they've spent a good wad. I don't think they'll probably sign Maddison, in my opinion. Only thing I saw at Hannibal is when he came on during the 4-0 versus Man United. Liverpool came on and crunching tackle on Liverpool player, only one showing fight, exactly. And that's something I do really rate Hannibal about. Personally, in my opinion, that he did show fight, he does show determination, and that's what he does every single game. Or you could go to brush your Dortmund on. I don't think that Dortmund are that interested at the moment. So, but Dortmund would be a good shout for him to go on loan. But if we do sell him to Dortmund, I want to sell him on a good amount of money. So we'll go now onto the next one, which is Mason Mount updates. So we know that Mason Mount has had the second bid rejected by Chelsea, but here is the most recent update now. There you go. So here's the most recent update now, which was made last night. Understand Manchester United will bid again for Mason Mount. Personal terms 100% agreed and sealed. Mount plans not to sign a new deal at Chelsea. Man United want a quick resolution and won't make crazy bids. Chelsea are now flexible and have gone down to 60 million / 65 enough to get it done. So we're looking at here now. I think for me that Chelsea are probably thinking now I'd rather get something rather than nothing. But you're looking at they've already sold 6 players already. They've already got rid of 6 players already, Chelsea. And I just think, how are they not being as accommodating with us compared to what they were doing with Man City, with Arsenal? And I just think for me is with Mason Mount, it's evident he doesn't want to be at Chelsea, otherwise he would have extended his contract. And for what I've also been reading, that Mason Mount is actually taking a wage cut to come to Manchester United. And I think for me, that just really shows that he does want to come to the club. They've gone a bit more flexible, 60 million. I think if we went and done 50 plus 10 mil add-on, what makes it to 60, I don't think that would be an issue. I think that should be fine. I think they may potentially get that. I wouldn't bid more than 3 times because, as it says, we want a quick resolution. Ten Hag wants his signings in by pre-season, and time is really running out because pre-season is going to be starting in a few weeks' time, and the player needs to get used to the players, get used to the club. If you want, I'm seeing so many Chelsea fans very angry, very distressed that Mason Mount is signing for Manchester United, calling him a traitor. But there is a few things that I am going to say beforehand, because people think Mason Mount is a Chelsea fan. And that is incorrect. Mason Mount is actually a Portsmouth fan. And I will get that up. So this is actually confirmed by a paper in Portsmouth. Portsmouth fan Mason Mount makes a social media decision about speculation over Chelsea future continues. This was in April 2023. Ponty fan Mason Mount has taken the decision to come off social media platform on Twitter. The former Fratton Park season ticket holder. So let's just say this straight away. He is not a Chelsea fan. So I know he went to Chelsea's academy, but that does not make a fan. That doesn't make a fan because they went to the academy. So just because we've got, for instance, we put, for instance, Garnacho from the academy. Does that mean Garnacho's a Man United fan? Because from either, Garnacho's a Madrid fan. So you look at things like that, an academy player does not mean they're a fan of that club. The former Fratton Park season ticket holder has made the decision. Obviously, to come off social media. So if we can see, we see it here. It's been suggested that the criticism over his form this season and continuous talks regarding his future has influenced Mason Mount's decision to remove himself off social media. And you know what? I actually think for me, it's a shame when. Don't get me wrong. I'm not gonna sugarcoat this and go Manchester United fans are heavenly, because Manchester United fans are also just as guilty there for slagging off players and criticising players. Maguire is a main one for that, and I just think for me it's a bit of a shame when you're getting a player who has been criticised that much to the point where they have to come off social media, and I think that just really shows the level of the amounts it's getting to. So if he's removing his social media because of the fact Chelsea fans are continuously hounding him on social media, slagging him off, top of that, he's had that girl who's harassed him. It's gone to the courts. He is going to want that move away from London. And I think for me is Mason Mount's doing the right decision, leaving London full stop, getting a fresh start, wants to stay in the Premier League. Manchester United are interested. Do you want to go to that? And I think Chelsea now needs to be more accommodating. Got 1 year left on his deal. He's signed his personal terms. He's clearly stated he doesn't want to be here. Let him go. Let him go. I would have took Mount at Liverpool. Would have been perfect for the Klopp system and style. I expected to be a decent signing for Man United. Enjoy work, Chris. Thank you very much for coming into the chat. Yeah, you're right. He's from Portsmouth originally. Absolutely. Again, as I was saying, he is a Portsmouth fan, and the fact that you're getting Chelsea fans saying he's a Chelsea fan just because he's come from the academy, it it doesn't make sense. You can't just say every player from your academy is a Chelsea fan or every single Man United player from the academy is a Man United fan, because that's not going to be the case. Ten Hag is clear on being a traditional direct style fan control and possession. Mount will do well for us when it's a fast transition and interchanging positions. Completely agree. And on top of that as well, he's very versatile, can move all to the right hand side. Got that competition there for free kicks and corners. I'll tell you one thing, them burgers and sausages look good on the advert. I didn't look at them, to be honest. Portsmouth never knew that. Fair play to him. Hey there, Chris. Thanks for coming in. Hope you're well. It's like Fratton. I meant to say Fratton Park. I haven't been drinking. I wish I have, but I'm well, thank you. Hope you are well too. It's been a shame Leicester as well has got relegated. But WSL, you're still up, which is great news for Chelsea. Got a great manager there. You got a clear style of play, so I think you will probably be in the WSL for a while now, and hopefully you'll come straight back up when it comes to the Premier League. Raheem Sterling, another example, supports United but never got to our club or academy, yet he does the right thing by failing to score against us. Lou Shaw, Chelsea fan, John Terry, Man United fan. Another player, what was I going to say now? There was another player who is a Manchester United fan but had moved. Gabriel Martinelli, Manchester United fan, failed to get into our academy, gone to Arsenal. Harry Kane, an Arsenal fan, failed to get into Arsenal's properly academy, went to Tottenham Hotspur. Hey there, Football Power Hour. Thanks for coming in. Hope you are well. If he signed for Man United, he will be on the back. He will be back on it. Agreed. Completely agree. Mal updates is this. Oh, Chris. Reese, was John Terry the mascot at Man United? I believe he was, you know. How does Manchester United Mount work in the midfield with Fred, Bruno, and Ericsson? So I think what Ten Hag will do, he will try and make the team a bit like the Ajax's second team. He has still sticks to the 4-2-3-1, but with the pivot at the moment is 2 DMs. But I think what he will do is he'll have a lone defensive midfielder, a Casemiro, and then he'll have the 2 10s there of Bruno Fernandes and Mason Mount. And I think when there does come to any injuries, if Ahmad does go on loan with Anthony, then on the current situation with Anthony, I do personally think that Mason Mount can transition over to that right wing spot, and Ericsson and Fred will go into the 10 role. However, there is a possibility Fred could be leaving Manchester United, as Fulham are interested in signing him to 15 to 20 million. Hey there, Mohammed. Thanks for coming in. Hope you are well. Anthony Case, yeah, that's another fact what is going on also with Anthony and his girlfriend. There's still updates of what's going to really happen there. Pronunciations, yeah. John Woodgate from Leeds, a Man United fan. Exactly. Not all, as I say, not all academy players are fans of that club. And I just think they're just very, very fickle, if you want me to be honest. Very, very fickle. Like, I even had a Manchester United fan arguing with me, saying, How could you talk about Russo not being loyal when you like Mason Mount? Mason Mount ain't loyal. He's won back-to-back Player of the Seasons. And then I said he's been slagged off plenty of times by the fan base. And then he goes, oh, so you're looking at Chelsea fans on Twitter are far better of you. I thought, what an idiot. Because he was saying that Mason Mount's a Chelsea fan. I was like, he's a bloody Portsmouth fan. Like, I'd know that Mason Mount's a Portsmouth fan. No, Reese. So this is what I think is going to happen. You know what? I'm going to do the lineup. So if I'm going to change that to a... Give me one moment. Let me just get the... Who on, man? Yeah, there it is. Right, let's get this up. Right. Okay. So here it is. Right, starting 11. Let's just say De Gea. Let's just say all the player stays. So we'll put Luke Shaw, Martinez, Varane, Aaron Wan-Bissaka, Casemiro, Bruno, Sancho, Mount, Antony, Rashford. Right. I'm not saying this is going to be our starting 11, not by a long shot, right? So this is how I see the starting 11 going to be. So I will change this system up a little bit. So we put Casemiro down here, put them out there on the right-hand side as an advanced number 10 in the pivot alongside Bruno Fernandes on the left-hand side. So Sancho goes a bit more further up, as does Antony. Shaw is able to go further up as well as Aaron Wan-Bissaka. So this is what I see will happen with the starting 11 lineup. So this is how I mean it's the 4-2-3-1 with 2 10s in it. So Casemiro will be here as the lone defensive midfielder down here, right? And then I see Bruno on the left-hand side to cover, for instance, Sancho and Shaw. And then I get Mason Mount to cover for Antony, Aaron Wan-Bissaka. So it's a bit like a triangle there. Triangle 3. Triangle 3. Triangle 3. So this is how I think it's going to happen. So it's going to go into 3 triangles there for Manchester United. My personal opinion, anyway. Bruno might play right. No, Bruno won't play right wing, because if anyone's going to play right wing, it's Mason Mount, who's got the experience of the right wing. If Mason Mount joins Man United, will he be a Manchester United fan? Most players who play for Man United, well, he might convert. Humans are insane. Maisy, see Lavia going for Arsenal. I think if they don't get Rice, I think it's a certain possibility. If Mason Mount signs for United, he will get 10 out of 10 for Mays every rated. Watch this space. Will Mount be creative enough? Absolutely so. He's been Chelsea's best creative players for the past so many years, so I do strongly believe he will be creative enough. So we'll go on to the next one now, which is De Gea to leave Manchester United. As we already know with David De Gea, he doesn't have long left on his contract. So you look at that is David Ernstrom has said David De Gea contract situation. It has gotten this far. It looks like he may well leave. I know David De Gea has had options in the Saudi league to join them. But he hasn't yet extended his contract, which is looking less and less likely every single day. And I think for me, if, for instance, that David De Gea is not to extend his contract at Manchester United, then I think, especially if we've already signed Mount at that point, then they are going to rush to try and get a goalkeeper, because Dean Henderson will be leaving to Nottingham Forest. And I don't think Dean Henderson's good enough. So I think Dean Henderson is going to go Forest for around 30 mil. As I mentioned on Flying Pig yesterday or the day before. I think he'll go to there. And then we've only got Tom Heaton then as a goalkeeper, as well as the youth player, Kovar, I think he gets called. And I think they're going to rush to get a goalkeeper. There's Oana, who's around 50 to 70 million. And there's David Raya, who are great two options. I'm obviously going to lean towards David Raya because I am a massive fan of David Raya. I do respect everything that De Gea has done over the years, don't get me wrong, but he's costed too many points, he's costing too many games now for Manchester United. He has got poor distribution, and we do need to look forward, especially now we know that David Raya is wanting Champions League football, yeah. That's what we can offer him. Starting 11 spot, number one shirt. You're gonna play in the Champions League. I know it's apparently Pickford linked, and I tell you something, right? If Jordan Pickford comes to Manchester United, we will be the most unsaviour club in the world, right? I will be absolutely fuming if we want and got Jordan Pickford. Watch this space, right? This hair, right, will not be on my head. I'm telling you right now, because Jordan Pickford is crap. He is crap, right? I think, right, Jordan Pickford, don't get me wrong, he's not bad in an England shirt, yeah, but he is Manchester United quality. He is not Manchester United standard. So why should we lower our standards for bloody Pickford, who's one of the worst goalkeepers after De Gea in the league? The only worst goalkeepers in De Gea right now in the league at this moment in time, right, was Melier from Leeds, right? Hugo Lloris from Tottenham, and Tottenham are getting rid of Hugo Lloris. So that just really shows, because they've signed a new goalkeeper. They've got Jordan Pickford, one of the worst goalkeepers in the league. I don't rate the Southampton goalkeeper, that Banzu, whatever he's called. I don't get why people rate him. Yeah. They're, for me, the worst goalkeepers from last year. Reese Maisy will give Mason Mount 10 just for wearing a United shirt. Mohamed Mason Mount is an okay player. Rabiot will not be a good signing. What, Rabiot? Was Rabiot mentioned? So Man United says Rabiot is a good sign. That just really shows the low expectations Manchester United fans have got these days. Rabiot is crap. I'd literally rather not even have a midfield than a bloody Rabiot. Mohamed De Gea did go for so many 12 years at United. Yeah, don't get me wrong. He's done good for over the years, but I just think we need to move on for both parties' sakes. De Gea should go now, in my opinion. Agreed. If United need better than De Gea, if they want to compete and improve going forward, agreed. Get me Riot. Oh, I would love Riot, honestly. Not Pickford. I don't want Pickford. Raya won't come at a cheap price. Yeah, but the thing is, right, Raya's 40 mil. That's how much he's estimated at. And I will happily spend 40 mil, right, on David Raya. 1000%. You're looking at, right, if we're spending 40 mil is what Brentford want for David Raya, 1 year left on his contract. So you look at, if we get 30 mil there for Dean Henderson, we'd only really need to invest 10 more million. And that's really nothing, in my personal opinion. Owana or Costa are the two decided, apparently. Raya to take. I don't like Costa. Costa. Ugh. Great picture. He looks like he's chewing a carrot. uh, if you don't move quick for Riot, it may well be Pickford. Oh, he is a Maguire keeper version. Nah, Maguire keeper version is Melier and Hugo Lloris by a strong Mayo. Honestly. So we'll go now on to the next one. So this one's about Man United women, which is Oshala to join Manchester United women. So this was released. United to replace Russo with Oshala. Linked to United 2 years ago, it is rumoured the two-time Champions League winner may be heading to Manchester. Would you like to see Oshala in red? So, right, let's be real when we're saying this here, right? Everybody here was peed off at Russo for leaving us. I was peed off at Russo. No joke, probably 9 times out of 10, people were peed off Russo when. But you need to look at in this way. We're not going to miss 10 goals from Russo, and that is the most that she has scored. This, right, you look at her, for instance, Oshala, right? She's won 2 Champions League, back-to-back La Liga for the women. She's won the treble twice, I believe, as well. So I do personally think, in my opinion, you need to look at, if you want to compete for titles, if you're going to want to compete to get trophies, you're going to need to get strikers who are willing to pay, who are willing to score like it's candy, basically. This, and I think for me, is bringing in players, because at the moment she's in her prime age. She's around 28, I believe. So bringing her in, bringing someone who's got strong winning mentality into the squad, right? Who can score plenty of goals for you. So if you're going to look at, for instance, the amount of goals she's scored so far. So she's been in several clubs. She's been at Barcelona, Nigeria for international, Arsenal, and Liverpool. So you look at that in a good way and think, right, she's got WSL experience here. So you see here, 28 years old. She's been at River Angels, which is Nigeria. She's been at Liverpool. She's been at Arsenal. She's been in a Chinese club, and she's been to Barcelona. You look at that is a phenomenal amount of goals just in the league here. 2019, she's been at Barcelona, right? Since then, she had 89 goals, 89 games, 89 goals. You look at that, that is a fantastic amount of goals, and that is the kind of striker that you want. Then you look at it, she's the highest goal scorer at the 2014 Under-20 Women's World Cup and named Best Player of the tournament. She was also named Best Player and second highest top goal scorer for the African Women's Championship. And we've seen her, she's won trophy-wise the 2015 Women's FA Cup. She won that with Arsenal. She's won two leagues and a cup title in China. She won the 2019-20 Copa del Reina and the 2019-20 Super Copa from Barcelona. She was the first African and Nigeria player to score a goal in the UEFA Champions League final and has helped Barcelona reach the semi-finals for 3 consecutive seasons and 1 final. On the 16th of May 21, she became the first African woman to win the UEFA Champions League after Barcelona defeated 4-0 in the finals. The following season, she became the first African women player to win the league title. And in 2022, she became the first African woman to be nominated for Ballon d'Or. So you can see that she has got great honours at this moment in time. For someone who's only 28 years old, she's won trophies wherever she's been. She's got a phenomenal amount of goals. So in the league this year, she's had 28 matches, 21 goals, 21 out of 28 as a percentage. So if you're looking at that as a percentage, she scored in 75% of her games just in the league this season. Again, the season before, she had 19 games, 20 goals. So that's more than a goal a game she's been scoring in. Champions League this year, 9 goals, 5 games. So she's continuously scoring there. And then the Nigeria in the World Cup, 3 matches, 1 goal. Arsenal, 13 matches, 2 goals. Liverpool, there hasn't really been any registered there because she was still very young. So you need to look at this. She's gone from a young person in the WSL, joining a fantastic club, getting to the name she is, getting all these honours, and she's become one of the best strikers in the world right now. And I think right now, to get a person who can score continuously, because we need a Sam Kerr type of player at Manchester United who will score these goals. And I'm very confident at the fact she could do that for me, especially now she's well developed. She's got WSL experience, but since she's been in the WSL, she has been gone a lot more mature and she's gone a lot more developed. This is the Barcelona last you're buzzing about. Give us the deets. Hey there, Marcus. Hope you're well. Thanks for coming in. The Maguire keeper's laughing. I'll never forgive Russo. This is an excellent upgrade. Who Maisy? Barcelona striker Vincent. Russo did the dirty on Man United women team. Well, look at this way. If Russo didn't leave, you won't be getting better quality in. I think we were still on the lookout for a striker because we could have Russo and Rachel Williams in the Champions League. So it was rumoured we was going to be looking for a striker anyway, if Russo was to stay or not. Marcus, the pair, Oshiala and Carolyn would be beautiful together. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Hey there, Daz. Thanks for coming in. Hope you are well. I have a short coming tomorrow. Something big happening. I'll check that out. 28 is too old. I disagree that it is too old if you want me to be my opinion. Because you've still got easily another 10 years to be at Manchester United. Just because someone's older doesn't mean they're going to play like they're old. Exactly. And 28 is a prime age, in my opinion. Maisy, she looks like a beast and will give defence nightmares. We should Kelly from Villa. You know what? I wouldn't mind Rachel Daly from Villa or Beth England, but I don't think we'll get them. But I tell you something, I will be happy with her. Like, I will be buzzing my bloody head off if we assigned her. Honestly, that Barcelona strike got you. So I'm gonna finish off with a sporting link. And here's a sporting link for you. Mays, it's worked out for the better for United women that getting that striker. Absolutely. As much as people are worried about Honor and Russo being lost, we got some fantastic quality coming in. And we'll see what Matt Skinner can do with that. So the last one is Diomande to join Arsenal. So here is the rumours. Arsenal have made an approach to sign centre-back Osame Diomande. Both Arsenal and Juventus have now asked about the player if they see clarity over his future, but Sporting have responded by saying a deal is impossible unless the club pay a big fee. So, you know, right? I have literally rated this guy from January. Like, I have been non-stop saying he is the real deal here at Sporting. He is absolutely fantastic. Only 19 years old, quick type of defender, right centre back. He's very strong, very physical, and I do personally think, in my opinion, that Sporting aren't going to let him go cheaply. From what I've been reading, that Sporting want $1 million of 70 million for Diamande. So I don't think that Arsenal aren't gonna pay 70 million for Diamande. And Sporting aren't gonna let him go cheaply after signing him back in January. They're gonna want at least a few years out of him, especially when you're looking at the likes of Quartes potentially leaving and Inacio potentially leaving. I do think if Diamande was to go to Arsenal or Juventus, he does automatically become their best defender because I think he's absolutely sensational. I have kept my eye out on things. There has been no further updates on that, but I do think for me he is a really, really good player. And if he doesn't go to the Premier League this year, he will make it into the Premier League next year or the year after. Because I have been very, very confident that he is good enough to play in the Premier League. His abilities and the way he plays, he is more than good enough to play for the Premier League. Before I do wrap up the stream, okay. So whilst I've been on the stream, there has been a further update on Zidane Iqbal. So, I just literally had it. So here it is. So Fabrizio Romano has now announced here that Iqbal announces he's leaving Man United. He's joining Dutch side for 1 million plus a sell-on clause. So the announcement is emotions often can't be expressed in words. However, I try my best. Manchester United have been my home since I was 5 years old. Alongside my family, this club has developed me into a person I am today. From the cliff to Carrington, and then from the theatre of dreams, I have so many incredible memories of my 15 years associated to this amazing club. I have had the opportunity to play with so many teammates, but I will always call my friends. I worked with coaches who will always support me in so many different ways. There are too many to thank. Kitman, physios, teachers, chefs, nutritionists, security staff, coaches, and everyone in between, but they've all played their role in making me the player I am today. They know who they are and know how much they mean to me and my family. Will be forever grateful. The academy is a special place that makes dreams come true for so many. That was certainly the case for me. I'll never forget standing on the touchline at the Theatre of Dreams, wanting to come on for my debut. The feeling of pride will live with me forever. Representing Manchester United in Europe is one of the biggest honours you can have in your career. People don't realise the amount of work and dedication that goes into achieving a debut and living out your dream. The fans were amazing with me that day. You've all been always given such love and support to myself and my family. Trust me, it did not go unnoticed or unappreciated. I'll always be a Manchester United fan and I'll always love this football club. The time is right for me to go and to take on a new challenge. It is one that I cannot wait for, and I'll be applying myself with the same level of desire, determination, and dedication that has taken me this far in my career. This is a perfect opportunity, and I cannot wait to get started. So, there's Iqbal's goodbye message from Manchester United. So let's see. Nah, Diamande can't join Arsenal. He's too good. Agreed. These guys are still in the club by the time we next play it. To be honest, I have actually been singing Glazers out, but I don't think a lot of people have been doing that. In or out. Maisy's my Diamande is definitely quality. The real deal is certified. Ollie was done dirty by the board. He had his hand wrapped behind his head. Agreed. And I think when he had the thing is with Ollie, I think he was a fantastic team builder, but I just think once he did get the backing, I think he had too many egos there at the club. Diomande would be Arsenal's best defender. Hope he doesn't go there. But or not, he's not a good manager. Diomande deserves better than Arsenal. This guy's a beast and he walks into top sides. Are you signing Declan Rice? Nah, I don't think we will be signing Declan Rice. It's going to be either looking at Arsenal or Man City who are signing him. That 1 million is ridiculous once converted as 85k in British pounds. This should have been a loan, not a sale. Right. I've explained it at the start of the show anyway, but I read rumours the reason why Manchester let him go permanently is because he has disrespected the manager. Think about the swear word for do one. He said that to Ten Hag. And to be honest, I'd rather a player go who disrespects the manager, even if it's a low amount of money, because he's been disrespectful. And we can't have players like that at the club, especially academy players. So even though it's a low amount of money, I think the club's done the right thing if that's the true case. No buyback is ridiculous. As I've mentioned about the disrespect, and if he has disrespected, then I do personally think that the buyback shouldn't be done. Maisy, is Timber going to Arsenal? We've been hearing that Timber is apparently going to Arsenal. And if he was to go to Arsenal, then fair enough. But I think we're kind of hoping in a kind of way that I do personally think, in my opinion, that we could potentially go on a swoop. Hang on, when did Zidane say this? Let me have a look. Give me a sec, let me find it. Give me a second. Oh, God. I read it literally a few days ago as well. It's so warm right now. Yeah, so here it is. Zidane Iqbal leaving Manchester United. As Ten Hag called him rubbish in training, so Iqbal tells him to F off. So it's there on social media. So if you want to see it, you can do. Just Google it and you'll see it. But yeah, so from here we will wrap it up. Thank you all for watching. Really, really appreciate it. Everyone hit that like, subscribe button. I will be next live now next week. Next week I will be doing my player profile for Shola Shortire, my England women preview versus Portugal, and I'll be also doing a watch along. So go and check that out all. As I say, hit that like, share, subscribe. Have a lovely evening all. Take care. Bye bye.